there are a lot of new faces in this group, you know, a lot of new faces to our community. A lot of you have not gone through some of the coaching certification programs or any of the other programs. But what I love about what you all are sharing is that what's bringing you all together is like this common denominator, which sounds like, you know, some part of just truth and honesty and some part of connection, and it just feels right. And, you know, that kind of common denominator in a group like this with exponential effect, right? Meaning that when we're supporting each other and helping each, just wait till we actually start implementing some of this stuff, you guys. When we get a lot of this in motion and you're helping each other and showing up and accountability and masterminds and all these things, the effect is exponential when we're connected with a common denominator that's deep rather than surface level stuff. Like, I just want to make money, and nothing bad about that stuff, but there's a rooted connection here that I think pretty much all of you are attracted to. And the support within the group, not just what our company gives you, but the support within the group is going to provide hopefully something that you really need, maybe something that you haven't experienced before. And that's what the majority of us are actually missing, right? I've used this analogy in the last couple of videos. If we're trying to build a brick wall, what almost everybody is going and getting is the best bricks. And what most people in this context of building a business and doing personal development work, what most people don't realize is without the mortar in between the bricks really don't matter all that much, right? If that brick wall is designed to keep something out and there's no mortar that holds them all together, then a child can push the wall over because the bricks actually don't have any strength. And so what most people need are the soft skills. Most people need the support. Most people need a facilitation kind of capacity sort of support in between the bricks, in between the strategies, in between the what to do's. All of those are important, but without the glue that holds all that stuff together, they're just not very strong, and they can't withstand any kind of earthquake, right? They can't withstand any sort of disruption because they'll just fall right over. And so that's what most of us have experienced, not just in the coaching industry, but in the way that we've learned almost everything that we've learned in our entire adult life, not just as adults, but as our educational systems as children as well. But most of us are running around with a bunch of bricks and nothing holding them together. And that's why so much of this work, I see a lot of heads nodding. That's why so much of this work, when it comes to embodiment, is about, because you know what, you guys, most of you don't need different bricks. You actually don't need different bricks. You don't need different skills. A lot of you don't need new information. We just need to be able to activate the information that you already have. How many of you relate to that? Because again, it's an implementation issue that most of us are up against. So, oh man, there's so much to this. What we're going to do together, right? And I just want to say a couple things. No, that's not true. I want to say 1,000 things. I'm not going to say 1,000 things, at least not on this call. I will say 1,000 things, just spread out over the year, right? But just a few things based on what's already been said and what I really want you to get. Actually, here, I have a glow stick here. And I want this to be a visual of what our goals are. Our goals for you in this program, and your goals individually, and our goals collectively. This glow stick, if you haven't seen one of these before, it's got wrapping on the outside, and it's got a plastic encasing all around it. And I actually can't open it I mean, I could like destroy it, but I can't open it. It's sealed all the way around the outside. And that's intentional because in order for this to work, nothing needs to be added to it. And it might be hard to see because you got lights on, right? Right. But well, let's see what happens if I turn the lights off. Maybe you can see this a little bit better. So it's not glowing right now. And if we want it to glow, we don't need to add anything to it. If we want it to glow, all we need to do is break the little bubble inside. Oh, look at that. Break the little bubble inside, and then the chemical reaction happens inside, right? Can you guys see how it's glowing a little bit purple there? This is us as humans. Nothing needs to be added externally to you. You truly do have everything you need inside, but something is in the way. In this glow stick, there was a little bubble of air that was keeping the things that would otherwise come together and glow apart from each other. And this glow stick, without that bubble being burst inside, this glow stick would never glow. It doesn't matter what we do externally. I could do anything with it. If that bubble doesn't burst inside and the components that are already in there touch each other, this doesn't become what it is or what it has the potential to become. And so hopefully that is maybe a visual reminder or an analogy, not just for yourself, but for human evolution, right? For your clients as well. And one of the coolest things is, as a coach, you don't need to answer other people's questions. You just need to get really good at helping people. Here's a different one. Helping people ignite from the inside. And that's so much easier. I don't have to worry about the chemicals that are inside there. I know how to do that. And it takes so much pressure off of us. But the work is done inside. There's work that happens inside. So this is both a really empowering lesson, but also sometimes a little uncomfortable one. Because you are the glow stick and the work is done inside. And there is something internally that's keeping your potential from igniting and becoming what it can be. And that's not to say anything demeaning. We're all there. I'm there with the levels that I'm trying to go to. Michelle's there with the levels that she's trying to go to, right? There's just a bubble in there that's keeping us from whatever it is that we want to do. So hopefully that's like a visual analogy of what this program is designed to do for you and help you become the glow stick igniters for other people as well. And what that requires, we keep talking about it, and you're going to hear the word embodiment all the time throughout this program. You're going to, and you might not even fully understand that, and that's okay. We really haven't gone all the way in and explained the whole depth of embodied learning. But I took an embodiment course about 4 years ago, and it changed my life. Why? Because it changed my insides. Like if you think about a clock, right? Like think about a circular clock. On the edge of the clock are all these numbers. Like those are all the things that are going on in our lives, right? Those are all the circumstances. Those are relationships and money and success and all the things that we want to experience in our lives. So the mistake that most of us make is we go out to the edge of the clock and try to do the work there. Like let's say the number 3 is where financial results in business are. So most of us go out to the number 3. We go, there's a number 3 right here. I want this number 3 to change. So let me see if I can get that number 3 to turn into an 8 or turn into something else or what have you. And then we do the work on the edge of the clock. And then even if it works, you guys, that didn't change number 7. So if number 7 now represents another area of your life that you want to change, well, now you got to make your way all the way to that edge of the clock and then do the work on number 7. But this is all symptoms work, right? This is all edge of the clock work. What embodiment work did for me is it helped me in the middle of the clock. Because no matter what time it is, those hands connect where? Right in the middle. So what if we do the work in the middle that's connected to all of it from the inside out? And then it changes your connection to all of those numbers. It changes your internal connection to all of the circumstances around the edge of the clock. Is this landing for you guys? This is one of the most powerful analogies of what this work actually represents. It's the internal, intangible, intrinsic stuff. And we're not avoiding any of that stuff, because then we can go to the edge of the clock and manipulate it like crazy, but from a place of control, from a place of stability, from a place of internal understanding. And that's what I want this course to be for you. And I want to share just a couple things about embodiment learning, and then we'll wrap this session soon. I don't know what time zone soon is, though. Soon, some time zone. Two things on my mind. The lessons that we need to learn to change the results we want to change are most often going to be learned on a different path than that one. What I mean by that is, if you want to make changes in your relationships, the embodiment lesson that you probably need to learn, the bubble that probably needs to get cracked, you're probably going to get it somewhere else other than relationships. Does that make sense? That makes no sense to the intellect, though. Because if I'm trying to make money, well, then I got to learn my lesson in the money path, right? Well, probably not. And that's probably where you've been trying to learn the lesson, right? So I also have a philosophy inside this embodiment training that if you could have, you would have. If that was the path for you to learn the lesson, you probably would have already learned it, because you've been on that path for a long time, searching for the lesson, right? These are not things that we just decided we want to change in our lives. But again, I want this to be empowering. So when I did my embodiment course, this is what some of the course was. We would go, we played tug of war one time. Tug of war against each other, standing on blocks of wood. Like, what the hell is this going to teach me? We're literally playing tug of war. Grown men just playing tug of war. Whoa. Wow. I learned so much. I just about started crying about my tug of war lessons. I learned so much about me and about my focus and about balance and about stability and about strategy and about my marriage on a block playing tug of war. We surfed one time. We surfed for 3 hours and then talked about it for 6. Made no sense. Like, we already did the thing. We already surfed. What do you mean? I realized something in the 4th hour of discussion changed my life, changed my relationship with my son. One of the reasons most of us don't actually learn the lessons that we need is because we're looking in the wrong place. we're so focused that it has to come here because this is where I want to apply that lesson. Quite often, that's not where that lesson's going to be learned. And that's just the nature of the way that we attach, the pressure that we put on ourselves. Is this landing for you guys? I've actually never shared that. Like I never really thought about what did I learn from tug of war? What did I learn from surfing? And what did I learn from like catching a stick? We spent a whole weekend catching a stick. What? Changed my life. Not in the stick catching arena. Changed my life in sales, in business. I mean, so here's what I want you to know. We got you, right? We know what we're doing. A lot of times it'll make no sense to your intellect. And that's usually when something phenomenal has the ability to be learned. Because it's our intellectual attachments that's the reason we're not learning or the reason we're not implementing, right? So if you're in for the embodiment game, part of it is understanding that the work happens at another level that we oftentimes literally cannot comprehend. The embodiment learning like there's an element of like the intellect almost needs to be distracted, right? Like here, you focus on that thing over here because I'm gonna fix your relationship with money over here, right? But you're gonna get in the way, intellect and ego and like expectations, you're gonna get in my way. So I'm gonna send you off over there so that I can actually learn something over here. And it's such a beautiful process. And I just want to finish my little soapbox here by going back to something that Michelle said. This is the second thing that I wanted to leave you with today. Your body is making all of your decisions. And I never use universals because universals are always wrong. That was funny, by the way. Never, always. Anyway, your body is making all of your decisions. We've got to do the work to allow our bodies to learn the lessons that have the capacity to take us not just where we want to go, to take us to the places that want us there. To get us in front of the people that are looking for our message right now, or the bliss inside of some relationship, or the financial abundance. Trust me, financial abundance wants you more than you want it. It's just waiting for the body to do the work so that you have the capacity to stay there. Katie, was that a tear that you just wiped away? It's about increasing our capacity, not changing our circumstances. It's about increasing our capacity for the circumstances that are already waiting for us.